Okay, so something exciting is happening with the Luxury State of Mind podcast, and I want you to be a part of it. So, the Luxury State of Mind podcast is hosting a Galentine's event on February 12th in partnership with Joe Malone. Yes, the luxury band Joe Malone London and Luxury State of Mind are creating a Galentine's event on February 12th at 6:30 p.m. So if you are in the Dallas area, I invite you to come to the event. It will be at the North Park Mall. And we are going to have a live podcasting experience where we're going to learn about and talk about how to personalize your everyday life so it feels more luxurious. We're going to have a wine and chocolate tasting, and we're also going to be having a masterclass with Joe Malone. So they're going to be showing us how to layer scents, how to find our own personalized scents, and create little luxuries in our life every day. So bring your girls to the event on February 12th, and you're going to have such an amazing time to talk with other Luxury State of Mind listeners, interact with myself, and then also be able to purchase a scent that you love as well. So to find the event, look in the description of this episode. It's going to be on Eventbrite, and you can reserve your spot. Spaces are limited, so make sure to sign up quickly. And I cannot wait to see you there. Welcome to the Luxury State of Mind podcast, where we focus on intentionally crafting a life that feels tailor-made for you. On each episode, you'll learn how to create luxury in your everyday life and celebrate the uniqueness that is you. I'm your host, Damio Shodi, and I'm excited to help you develop a luxury state of mind. Ooh, girl, welcome back to the Luxury State of Mind podcast. If this is your first time listening, hello. My name is Damio Shodi, and I'm the host of this podcast. And I want to tell you, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year. We are in 2025. Ew. How you doing? How was your Christmas break? How you and your mama doing? How they doing? How everybody doing? You good, girl? I hope you're good. I hope you had the best time at the end of 2024 and the beginning of this year has been treating you well. I hope that you are clear on what it is that you want to do or getting clear on what you want to do in 2025 and just have all the big dreams and all the big hopes. Like, yeah, we locked in, okay? We locked in. So super excited to be back. I haven't recorded in a while, so I have a lot of energy. Okay. I have a lot of energy to give, to share. And if you ain't got it, I got it for you. And we are going to be talking about something that, everybody needs. And especially you're a luxury minded woman. You think on things that are luxury. Okay. So if you're not familiar with Luxury State of Mind, this podcast helps everyone, every woman, women of color, busy women live in luxury every single day. And it does not require finances. It does not require, a good background that you came from a good family or you have to be living in a certain area code to have luxury. I say on every podcast, you can live in luxury today. And how you do that is adopting 3 principles that make up Luxury State of Mind. The first one is identity, second one, intentionality, and then third one, freedom of choice. So first, you become more clear on who you are, what it is and where you're going. What are your standards for your life? Who do you see yourself becoming? And we do that in partnership with the Lord Jesus. We do that in partnership with him to figure out who are we? What is the desires of our heart? Where do we want to go in life, right? So that's the identity part. Second one is the intentionality aspect. Now that we're getting more clear on who we believe we are, we become intentional about making choices that align with the vision and the identity and the standards that we've set for ourselves. So we become intentional about the choices we're making. And then number 3, freedom of choice. We become empowered to make choices even if they're not popular. We're empowered to make choices that will put us in the direction of, again, where we're going, our standards, all of these things. And this is all done in the mind. It all starts in the mind. It does not have to do with if you have a Birkin bag or if you have Louis V and all those things. And if you have all those things, more power to you. Like, I love it. And I am Clearly, this is called luxury state of mind. So I'm all for luxury goods and a luxurious experience. I like nice things too. And with liking those nice things, I want you to have an excellent quality of life. And that is something that we're going to be talking about today. There is a skill that you are struggling to have and to obtain and to be your best self. You know what I mean? Okay. And we're going to talk about this skill and why you need this skill, because in all honesty, we're going to be talking about how a lack of time management is costing you your future dreams. I know that you have all these plans for this year. You're like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be with. This is where I'm going to go. I'm going to travel here. I'm going to be growing this. Like, you have all of those plans. But I guarantee you, if you do not master the art of time management, none of those things will come to pass. You can desire them, have the intention for them, but if there's no action plan behind how you will get it, then most likely you may find yourself in the same place next year. And as a luxury-minded woman, that is not going to be your future. It may have been in last year, in the years prior, but this year, that's not your future. We are advancing. So I know that you desire transformation. You listen to this podcast because clearly you desire to move to the next level, to shift your mindset, to transition to where you believe you're supposed to be in life. So if you desire that transformation, like I know that you do, and you are someone who is intentionally invested into seeing the dreams of your life come true, whether that be, the body that you've dreamed of, you never thought that you could lose weight, but you did it, or you're planning on doing it, you want to do it. You building good relationships with those around you that you love, your children, your spouse, your friends, or maybe you're building a business that you just want to grow and the purposes that you have and that you feel like God has called you to share with the world, you just want to go all in with that. If those are the things that you want and you are interested in investing into those dreams starting now, then this episode is for you. So we're not going to talk about time management from, okay, you need these tools and you need this and you need that, because there are countless YouTube videos online. Let's be for real. There are many, many videos online that are teaching you tactics, tips, tricks on how to be a time manager or better at time management, especially if you work a full-time job and you are trying to build something on the side, or you're trying to just grow as a person outside or alongside. It can be either outside, alongside of your job. It can be overwhelming. There's a lot of things and there's a lot of YouTube videos, but to be honest, they're not working, right? You're here because they're not working. You've looked at all the that girl, it girl schedules and tools, and you've had all the planners, you've had all of that, but it's not working. So let's figure out why that's not working. And then what can we do to start making things shake and bake? Okay. So let's first look at what causes us to struggle with time management. Why is it that it's such a problem, especially if you are working? So the first reason, or a major reason, is a lack of energy, especially after work. You left your house probably at 8 a.m., maybe even 7 a.m., got to work. There was traffic on the way to work, so it may have taken you 45 minutes to get there. Then you have all these meetings all day. You have things that you need to do. There's different things that you need to juggle and different priorities that you have to maintain, right? And then you hop back into traffic for another hour after work. And then maybe you're a parent where you have to take care of your kids after work as well. You have to take care of them. You have to make sure that they're okay, or maybe you have a spouse or you're a caregiver in some way. Or if you're living your best single girl life, there's just things that are happening. You feel like you're tired, it's too much. So it just feels like you're too tired to do anything else. It's like, yeah, I know I want to work on my goals. I know I want to be more fit. I want to build this YouTube channel or this podcast, but I'm tired. So you may find yourself doing nothing towards those goals after work. And then the next day comes, and then day after day, it feels the same. So number one, lack of energy. Number two, you know what you want to do, but you're struggling to take action. So there is a mind-body disconnect. It's like, I know what I want to do. I'm clear on what the next steps are, but for just some reason, I'm just struggling to take the action. I just don't know how to take what's in my mind and then actually move forward and do the action. So that's a huge one, and that's a real problem, right? Another major struggle or reason that we struggle with time management is distractions. And this may be the main one, and a huge distraction that we have in this time period that we're in is our phone. And that's not new to you. I'm sure you know this, but I actually wanted to bring up a stat to you to show how much of an issue it is. So in America, the average American spends 5 hours and 16 minutes on their phone a day. Now, when you put that to a year, what does that look like? How much time in a year have we spent on our phone? That's equivalent to 80 days of the year we're on our phone. So 80 days. What could you accomplish in 80 days? Now, granted, your phone, you have things to do on your phone. We live through our phones. Sometimes we use our phones, to get from here to there. Sometimes our jobs require us to use our phones. So that makes sense. But in the times that we have outside of our core, things that we have to do, that's a lot of time to be on the phone per year. And we're distracted. Or that could also be Netflix, and that could be, Hulu or streaming. We are entertained, but we're distracted. So that's a huge problem. And then another problem that comes up with time management is unproductive habits. A habit that a lot of us have, and especially if we've gone to college, you gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, if you go through the school system here, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. So waiting to the last minute. It is a habit to constantly wait till the last minute to do something. And you have convinced yourself that that's just who you are. You are somebody who waits to the last minute. Maybe you did this in college. You were the type that an exam is coming up, but you wouldn't study until maybe like a day or two before the exam. So you would pull all-nighters. Study, and then if you were lucky, you would ace the exam or at least pass the exam. So in your mind, you developed a pattern that, it works. Like if I'm under pressure, if I have a lot of stress, I work my best when I'm under stress. But you're starting to realize right now that as you're getting older, that habit of waiting to the last minute is not serving you today. It got you to where you wanted to be in the past and maybe even up until now. But today, as the transformational woman that you are, the luxury-minded woman that you are, is just not serving you. And you desire a better way, but it's like, how do I do that? Really, everything is centered around sometimes a how do I do that? I want to change. I just don't know how. So that's a main problem. Another major problem, and this is the last one I'm going to mention when it comes to a lack of time management skills to achieve your dreams, is a fear of unmet expectations. You fear that if I start planning and I try to execute, what if I can't actually meet the goal I set out? What does that say about me? So you convince yourself that you're not the type of person to plan. I don't need to, I kind of just go with the flow. Like it's not all that deep. Like y'all type A people, whatever, it is not even all that. Like I go with the flow. But most likely I would bet that it's a fear of what if I plan something and it does not meet my expectations. Maybe in the past you put your energy and your effort into completing something, doing something, and then when time came to accomplish it, or you had a goal you wanted to accomplish, you weren't able to meet that goal. So it feels safer to not plan so expectations are not crushed. It's safer to just stay safe, stay where you are, do things how you've been doing them, so your expectations, your hopes are not crushed. So these are some major problems that we're having that is causing us to struggle with time management. And if you can think of any more problems, I want you to put that in the comments. So not only is this podcast audio, but it's also video and it's on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, then you can put a comment. What are other reasons as to why you may be struggling with time management? Let's work through those things, okay? We can brainstorm some ways on how to overcome them. But this episode is not going to give you a how. I'm not trying to give you a how of how to overcome these things. What you need is a new perspective, a transformed mind, so that now when you manage your time, there's a reason and a rhyme to things versus I just got to do it because I need to be productive, right? So I have a quote here by Valerie Burton. She's an executive coach and she's the author of this book called Successful Women Think Differently. Highly encourage you to get this book. A lot of what she said in this book actually has encouraged me over time and helped me see the real me, okay? I read the book. I said, dang, she called me out. That's crazy. But I read the book, loved it, and I wanted to pull some quotes for you. So she said that women so often attempt to juggle multiple roles and responsibilities. Many downsize their dreams for so long that settling for less becomes a habit. She also said, on the contrary, that successful women are confident enough to dream authentic dreams. It means you have to be honest enough with yourself to acknowledge the real desires of your heart. So if you have been on the Luxury State of Mind podcast long enough, and even if you haven't, I'm going to let you know one of the reasons that I started this podcast was because there was this term that I basically came up with, this idea of the epidemic of settling. What happens is, and the reason why we struggle with time management is because we are fearful to really admit what we want. It is uncomfortable to be honest. Let's say that you are, perfect example, let's say that you are you're working a 9 to 5, but in your heart of hearts, you know, I want to be an entrepreneur. This is what I feel like I'm called to, and whatever that could be. Maybe that is, you want to be a content creator. Maybe that's your dream. But it seems silly, right? Because, I mean, look at you. You've been in your career for this amount of time. It wouldn't make sense to shift. But in your heart of hearts, you want to be a content creator. You want to be a YouTuber, or you want to be a speaker, or you envision yourself just doing amazing things. Like you want to serve people in different countries. And it sounds crazy. So you scale back. You scale back and you hide behind, well, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. So as she said, many downsize their dreams for so long that settling becomes a habit. So when you're not managing your time effectively towards the dreams that you have, it is your way of saying, I am settling for whatever comes. You're scared to admit the truth that I want something, because if you knew that you want something, you would do the action behind it to get there. So I want to encourage you that successful women are confident enough to dream authentic dreams. This is going to be the fuel that you will need in order to manage your time better. I don't talk about, time management is not based off of just, I got to be the most productive. In this country, here in the US, we talk about productivity, everything, productivity. And sometimes it can be like, I'm just doing stuff, doing this, I'm doing that. How many things can I get done? I got my to-do list. I put 10 things on my to-do list. I check them all off. But sometimes we're just filled with busyness versus productive things that are pushing our life forward. So the first thing is you want to know, what is it that you dream? What is it that you see for yourself? That, in all honesty, what is it? That will be the fuel that you need in order to push yourself or to move forward. I won't even say push yourself, but to move yourself forward to manage your time so you can start seeing those things. So that's one. We are used to settling, especially in this society, especially as women of color, Black women particularly. We are used to settling, which it doesn't have to be like that. But this actually leads to a larger problem. So we're settling, right? We have downsized our dreams, our desires, and our wants. It's almost like, what do I actually want? Do I even know what I want? So this actually leads to a larger problem. So in the book, Valerie goes on to say, as life brings disappointments or failures, it can be tempting to stop hoping for some of the things you truly want. When you stop hoping, you start settling. So the bigger problem I listed all those problems before. I said, okay, lack of feeling too tired after work, you're doing this, doing that. But could they be symptoms? And you honestly may not have a lot of energy, but we're going to be talking about principles versus just hacks and things, okay? But could it be that you have lost your hope and your faith that life can actually change for you, and that possibly you're just underserving of these things? Is it that the amount of disappointments and the amount of failures have just like heaped themselves over your mind to the point that it's not even that you can't do it? It's just because you don't even believe you can have what it is that you saw here. So you don't even attempt to manage, or you're doing things that make you busy, but they're not hitting the core of where it is that you believe you want to go. So that's the bigger problem. Is it that we don't know how to manage our time, or is it that we just don't have faith that things can change and that we deserve what it is that we saw? In order for things to change, faith is required. How do you know you have faith for something to happen in your life? How do you know that I have faith for this thing? Is it just by you say in your mind, I believe that it will happen? I believe God can do it. Is that the way that you change? Like, let me know in the comments. How do you determine that you have faith for something? Well, I'll tell you a way that the Bible says that you have faith for something. The Bible says that faith without works is dead. Very clear cut. So in order to know, a huge way to know that you have faith for something is that action meets your belief. It meets your faith. If you don't have action behind what it is that you believe God can do in your life, then you may not have the faith for it. Because let's say God gives you an idea. You're in your quiet time, or you're talking to God throughout the day, and he gives you an idea. The issue is not to just, I had to take it right there. I had to take action right there and now. But you have to, in order to see the fulfillment of what he's telling you to do, you have to take a step forward, whatever that step is, whatever you feel in faith that step is. And a way that you exercise your faith is by managing your time to do the things that you feel or believe that you're called to have. You manage your time so that you can create time to take action on the things that you believe God said is for you, or you believe in your mind and in your heart that this is what I want in my life. This is what I want in my life. And this is what is required to have it and to do it. So Valerie also mentions in the book that there is no time for surface goals. There is no time for putting everyone else's agenda ahead of God's plan for you. And that's what we end up doing, right? We are, especially as Black women, we got to take care of this person. We got to take care of that person. We got to make sure they're okay. I'm spreading myself thin, trying to just meet the expectations of other people, but have nothing left for myself, nothing left for the dreams and the goals and the visions, and may even be afraid of them, may not even believe that God wants them for me, may not even believe that I'm allowed to have these things because of just erroneous thinking and bad thinking. But as she said, there's no time for surface goals, no time for putting everyone else's agenda ahead of you, ahead of God's plan for you. And God does have a plan for you. And I'll share it with you in Jeremiah 1:5. He says to Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. So as Dr. Una says, because I be, rise and shine. I have definitely shared that with y'all. So if y'all not on the prayer call, get on the prayer call. But as Dr. Una says, she'll be like, Jeremiah dead and gone. God is talking to you, which is true. He's gone. This is a message for us in the present and in the present and the here and now. Replace Jeremiah with your name. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet of the nations. Now, are we all appointed prophets of the nations? No, but you fill in the blank. Who am I called? And you ask the Lord, who am I called to be? And this is where that identity part comes in. And this is what helps to fuel your time management, because you're becoming. You manage your time because you are becoming. So God has a plan for you. Your life is not meant to just get up, go to work, Eat, go to sleep, get up, go to work, eat, go to sleep, get up, go to work, eat, go to sleep. That is not the vision that God has for you. There are many things. I mean, he said, I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. What if the calling on your life is for you to impact the nations, to have global impact in whatever unique way that you've been called to do it? But we're settling and playing small because we don't have the faith to believe that we're called for more. But the beauty of the Bible and how I'm looking and reading the Bible is understanding the principles of the Bible. When God says something, he means it. It's a way of living. Like when he says this is the order of something. So this message is not just for Jeremiah, it's for every single person who comes in contact. We know that God is intentional. We know that he's an intentional being who made every single person because he's creative and he is purposeful. You can read that in Genesis 1. You can see his character. And that's one of the first things he shows us, his creativity and his intentionality. Therefore, when he made you, he intended for you to do something purposeful with your life. So we're actually going to pick up where we left off originally. For some reason, the audio on the original version that I recorded went out at the end. So we're just going to continue the conversation and we're going to end it pretty soon. But where I was in the last part of the podcast was you were made for a purpose and you were made for a reason. Everything about you is unique and you were called to do great things. And a way for you to invest into that future, a way for you to invest into the uniqueness and the calling, the purpose that is on you and within you is to learn to skillfully manage your time. So maybe you are tired at this stage of life of, how time has been or how you've been managing your time. You're just probably like, okay, like this is just not working. Well, I want to encourage you that you can actually decide today that how you're managing your time can be a seed that shows that you believe that what you desire to happen in your life or what you believe you're called to experience can actually come to pass. So it's a different mindset. It's not necessarily about being more productive, adding more things to your list, doing all the things, but it's about doing the right things that really resonate with you as a person and where you want to be. So use your time as a way to invest into that person or into that future or to have that experience. It's a seed that lets you know that you actually believe that you can experience the life and the transformation that you feel like you've been called to experience. So I want to encourage you today that there is a solution to the time management issues and problems that you're having. So if your system is working and you're just like, girl, like, thank you for the information, I'm going to put it in my back pocket, you know what I'm saying? Then keep doing what you're doing, okay? Keep doing what is working for you. But if you are a woman right now who desires a change, you know that, okay, in 2025, things have to change for me. And I know that I have to get better at time management. I've seen the effects of what's been happening when I don't manage my time, the opportunities that I've lost, the opportunities to have more fulfillment, more joy, more excitement in my life, more energy in my life. I've seen it and I don't want to continue going down that path. So maybe for you, you're just not playing any games, right? So when you think about the woman that you want to be and the type of experiences that you have, just take a moment and just think about that. Is it that you want to manage your time so you can, build healthier and deeper connections with those that you love and even to experience more love in your life? Maybe that's a reason you want to manage your time better. Or maybe you want to build a dream, a transformational business or something that you've made with your own hands that really answers a problem that the world has, but for some reason only you see that problem. And you want to build something that can help solve and cause transformation in the world. So maybe for you, you want to build a business or you want to build something on the side. Or maybe just something more like inwardly in how you see yourself. You want to finally see yourself as a winner. Maybe in the year of 2025, you are tired of thinking on thoughts or sitting on thoughts of failure and the shame or the irritation, the frustration of promises and dreams that you had that you did not, or you were not able to achieve in the past. And that's kept you bound to this identity of like, well, this is just who I am. I'm a failure and all these things. But you see yourself this year being that confident woman, that self-assured woman. And you know that time management, if I can just get my time together, if I can learn the skills over time that can help me do the things that will bring me in and allow me to have more confidence, then I just want to invite you today to make a decision. You can make a decision to leave that lack of hope and those frustrations in the past when it comes to time management and decide to do something new, right? You can adopt a new identity. You don't actually have to stay where you were. Once you make a decision, once you've set your intention, then the answers of how to change, or how to not even just change yourself, but to change your mind that will help you become a different person who has different actions, can actually come to you much easier. So I actually want to invite you to have a tool that I created, right, when it comes to time management. And this tool is my workbook called Time on Your Terms. And it's just that simple. It is helping you learn to create more time and use your time on your own terms. It's a very simple, powerful workbook that's not just going to give productivity tips and tricks. Really, the purpose of this workbook is to help change your mind so the transformation, the change that you're looking for is long lasting. I really focus more in this workbook on using your personal values to help manage your time versus you, again, just making a to-do list, having productivity hacks. Because like I've said before, there are so many videos on YouTube. There's so much information about productivity. If that was all that was necessary, you would have been able to manage your time better at this point, right? You've probably watched all the It Girl videos, That Girl, This Girl, Autumn Tings. You've probably watched all of that, but it's just not working. So now it's more of a transformational shift in the mind, getting in the mindset of how can I actually manage my time that's a best fit for me, that is sustainable for me. So I invite you to go on the website, luxurystateofmind.com. You will find the Time on Your Terms on the website. Again, Time on Your Terms, once you purchase, it will be sent automatically to your email, or you can actually click the link in the description of this podcast and I'll have the product there so you can easily purchase it. It's just a simple, powerful tool that's really going to help you get on the way to managing your time better. And if you're like, look, I really want to kill it in 2025. I'm not playing no games. I need your help. I mean, like, I'm struggling when it comes to managing your time, right? I'm struggling to learn or to do the things that I want to do. I want to see transformation, but quickly, okay? So I invite you to actually do coaching with me, to do one-on-one coaching with me, where for 8 weeks, we would work together on your time management skills so you can start seeing results quickly and see the power of what it looks like to manage your time, even when you're busy, even when you have a full-time job or you have multiple things that you're doing and priorities. How can you manage your time so you can start seeing the results that you want to see in your life? So if you are interested in that, you can just click my Calendly link in the description of this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll also be in the description of the episode there as well. And we can schedule time, or you can schedule time with me, and we can discuss what would be the best way in helping you move forward so you can start seeing results quickly in 2025. And I will literally be with you every single step of the way if we work one-on-one together. But if that's something that you're interested in, you can click that link in the description. So just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode and for just being a part of the Luxury State of Mind family. I appreciate all the support that I've received and all the great things and fun things that has come about in creating this podcast. And I also wanted to update you. You will probably hear this at the beginning of the episode, but if you are in the Dallas area, as of this beginning of the year, on February 12th, I'm going to be hosting a Galentine's event at Joe Malone. Y'all, Luxury State of Mind is partnering with Joe Malone. So we are going to be hosting an event in their retail store at North Park Mall. The event will be on February 12th at 6:30 p.m. We're going to have a live podcasting experience, wine and chocolate tasting, and then also a master class on how to find your scent. So we're going to have that live podcasting experience. We're going to learn how to personalize our lives and personalize our experience and how we show up every day to feel more luxurious. And then to really hit that home, we are going to be learning how to find our personal scents and just having a beautiful, luxurious experience. Okay. So if you are in the Dallas area and you want to come with your friends, this is a free event. So you can show up to the event on the 12th. The link to the event will be in the description of this episode. So I would love to meet you. I would love to see you there. So thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you on the next episode. All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please share with a friend and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also view the full episode on YouTube. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you on the next episode.